Gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Supposed Sky Slurpings, the sequel. I am Rawrquaza. Today we are going to play as Commando. Why Commando? Well, I'm going to do a build today that is very specific. We're turning on Sacrifice. This is a choice. Sacrifice changes things. We're going to turn on... So we got Spite, Command, Sacrifice, Vengeance... let's go with, we don't want Honor, we don't want Kin, we don't want Swarms with Sacrifice right now. Enigmas, whatever. Let's turn on Chaos. Death and Frailty don't matter. We'll keep Glass off. No Dissonance. Yes, Soul. Soul doesn't matter. We'll keep Soul off. Evolution, Metamorphosis. Okay, yeah, so I think we just go with these. You could turn a couple of them on, but this isn't really a challenge run as much as it is like a specific build that I'm interested in following. I did a run similar to this one the other day on stream. This one is going to be slightly different, hopefully learning from the mistakes that I made on that run. But, you know, like any other Risk of Rain run, especially with Sacrifice on, it's really going to depend on how soon we get items. Because, you know, it's not really a build until an item or several has been acquired. So, one question might be, why Sacrifice? I like taking Sacrifice because it allows me... So Sacrifice definitely makes it a harder early game. But, once you get through the early game, it makes the later game much more smooth because you don't have to spend a lot of time looking for items every stage. Oh, you know what? This is going to help a lot, actually. I'm going to grab Titanic Knurl. Okay, so now we're going to take our first item that matters. This is a Kajaro's Band stacking run. That's the whole thing. That's what we're taking. We're taking Kajaro's Band. And that's it, basically. That's going to be our damage. It's going to be... we're going to stack attack speed and Kajaro's Band, essentially. I'm excited. We also... man, you know, I might... If we can find a Newt altar early on the next stage, I'm going to try and hit that, because we could go to the Void to get easy tier 3. I think that's important because the tier 3 that we want is Clover, to proc additional... Kajaro's Bands. Kajaro's Band stacks by giving you just damage, and we did a Runald's Band run the other day on stream. It was very good. It's a very good build. It's not a particularly difficult run if you do it with these artifacts, but that's kind of not the point. It's kind of, sometimes it's just about having fun with an interesting item combo, and that's what we're doing here. Because you might have noticed that I need to upload more videos. I talk about it every freaking video that I do. It's mostly like, you know, a lot of work. And I just need to motivate myself to do it, is the real... That's the whole problem. So whatever I can do to be like, oh hey, I'll just record this video, it'll be easy. We're doing a Kajaro's Band run, or a Runald's Band run. Then it's like, hey, what's going on? And you get it done. Alright, let's do that. I would love to hit the buttons to go kill the married couple, but I am but a lone commando. So I don't know if that's going to happen. Okay, so the thing with Kajaro's band versus Runold's band. Runold's band is the ice one. That one does not require... Oh, this is horrible. It does not require... Like, when you hit with it, it just procs, and the enemy takes the damage. And they take one hit of a very large percentage of damage. Kajaro's band, the fire one, shoots a fire tornado, and it does a rapid small hits. So in some ways that's fine, and in other ways it's horrible. For one thing, the tornado does not track to enemies. It kind of floats off in a random direction, which makes it unwieldy. That also does potentially help because it hits multiple enemies, I believe. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, the tornado hits anything that's anywhere near, anywhere, you know, that gets, it comes into contact with an enemy. We need to, okay, tier 1. If we're gonna do the void, I'm gonna take a, I should take some healing. And I should take a... You know what, let's just grab... I think first you take a healing. You take one cautious slug, and that should get us more or less covered. Until, you know, we only have to survive for one round in order to get... I want to get like one repulsion armor plate. Maybe 2. And then we can start stacking attack speed and never look back, really. Get some move speed, maybe, down the road at some point. We don't really have any use for any of this. I mean, here's what I'll do. Oh, that's the equipment. I didn't really mean to do that. But I bought it, so I might as well do that. I'll do this. I don't know if we're gonna get to the end. It's possible that we could. So, you know, so that I don't have to come back here. On the sacrifice runs, you cannot get lunar items except through the bazaar. So, you know, we're here anyway, might as well. I'm kind of doubling down. We've now committed lunar coins to the run. But, you know, if I die, it's not a huge deal. The way that it's going, it's not looking great. We definitely are going to want to grab repulsion armor plating. I think that's... I'm not going to grab a bunch of them, but I do want some. We got wisps. We got an extra item. Is that a tier 2? Yep. What do we not want to see here? Enemies getting tier 1s. Basically repulsion armor plating, teddy bears. Everything else is more or less okay. I mean, it gets, there's still bad things. Any damage increasing ones, crit. You know, tri-tip daggers, that sort of thing. Crowbar would be horrible. There's plenty of bad things that can go wrong. You've seen the Void before. Some items that make it very difficult. Wisps are, like, not the worst, honestly. At least they're easily killable. We are going to take this. This should help us out a lot. We're going to take this. We're going to take this. I could grab a Hopo Feather. That would help. Just having one Hopo Feather really Kind of ties together any character's mobility in a nice way. Just gonna heal up here. Medkit, that's fine. Honestly, not an issue. What are they gonna do? Not get shot for a number of seconds? Let's grab some attack speed. Attack speed is going to help us proc many fire tornadoes, which is what we want. Let's grab a single Hopo Feather so I can stop talking about it. Now, pretty much, I think every tier 2 can just go to Kajaros. What am I doing? Ooh, close. All right, second monster. This is very easy so far. I think the other time that we did this, they got repulsion armor plate. Oh, not great. Imps are annoying. I don't think that the tornadoes are hurting me. Even with Chaos on, which is interesting. I would expect them to actually hurt me. The ice explosions I don't think are AoE. They just appear visually like a runic ice explosion. But they are in fact single target. I would like to mention that I think the Void is a very easy way to gain a lot of strength early on a run. And I think that makes the game pretty substantially easier when you use this strat. However, I'm okay with doing that. We're gonna grab this. I'm more or less okay with doing that because I'm less interested in being challenged per se on this run and more interested in an interesting and fun command build, right? All right. We also, Kajaros and Runolds only have an 8% chance to proc. And, so, this was a discussion on the stream where I stacked the Runolds. People were like, hey, Quaza, why don't you take one single Kajaros, the other band? And I was like, I don't want to do that. And they were like, but it'll double the chance of proccing because they proc together. And I challenge that concept. So if you don't know anything about Risk of Rain, the two bands, Runolds and Kajaros, their gimmick, or one of their gimmicks, is that if you have both of them, oh my lord, that's huge. That is huge. That's an extra tier 3, incredible. If you have both Runolds and Kajaros, and then they both proc at the same time, from then on, you will always get the ice explosion and the fire tornado. However, despite... There's some misleading information, and here's where people are like, oh, but the wiki says. I don't think of the wiki as a 100% reliable source. The wiki has things that are written on it by people who don't necessarily know, you know, how the code works. Now, I want to also specify, I do not know how the code works. I'm not claiming that. But, I do, so we get Clover here to double our, or get an additional chance to proc every hit. If you don't know what Clover does in this game, I will explain that later. Right now we're getting into the thing. So, I consider the wiki to be an unreliable... it just, in the past, it has not had completely accurate, shall we say, information. And I think a lot of people have this thing where, oh, but I read it on the wiki, so it must be true, and then they kind of adopt that into their personal zeitgeist. Personal zeitgeist. Is that an oxymoron? Zeitgeist is like the group schema. But they adopt it into their own personal schema of the game that, oh, hey, because they proc together, because Runolds and Kajaros procs at the same time, it must double the chances. But the thing is, Risk of Rain is a video game in which, you know, code was written. It was made by humans. The humans who made it are not perfect, and they may code it in such a way that it is not the way that they intended, first of all. Or, potentially, they coded it in one way, wrote, you know, item logs or whatever, and told people it worked one way, and then decided to change it or nerf it later. That sort of thing happens. And so, anyway, I'm on a bit of a thing here. But I know that people will be like, hey, you should take Runolds. It doubles the chances. And I just want to get out in front of that and say that unless you have looked at the code, or you have taken a Runolds and a Kajaros band in a run and shot 10,000 times and documented the results of the testing, then I'm not going to necessarily believe your word, because it's not, and that's okay. Either way, if let's look at it from the perspective of, well, why don't you just take one anyway, and you know, who cares? I care because the sanctity of the run is above all else, right? When I'm doing a challenge run like this, I like to go all in. The whole point of this run is to stack the fire band. If I wanted to stack the ice band, I would stack the ice band. Yeah, it's only one of them, but it will be fine, even if the chances are double. When you get the other band, it's gonna be fine without the other band. We'll be okay. We'll make it. I promise. It is kind of an interesting thing to talk about, though, and if people do have extensive testing or the ability to look into the code and interpret it accurately, if someone has done that, which is a potential, I don't do my research generally, so it doesn't surprise me that someone could have done so at some point. If someone does that, then please enlighten me. I would love to learn. But if it's like, oh no, I think it works this way, miss me with that. It'll be okay. I'll pass. Okay, so Clover. If you've never heard of Clover, we're also going to take one ukulele for the purposes of proc chance. Because we can proc the bands on ukulele hits. That'll help us a little bit with clear, which is going to be important here in a bit. So, enemies' items are okay. Oh, dude, it's faded. Look at that. Incredible. It was meant to be. Like, attack speed isn't great, but it's also, the other items are pretty fine. It's not like Predatory Instincts is going to matter, because they're not going to hit a lot, and they're not going to crit. The band is kind of bad. Honestly, I think Kajaro's at 3 stacks is not an incredibly high damage thing, and we can just walk out of it. It isn't great, but you know, obviously, you know, when was the last time an enemy hit me? A while ago. Okay, I say that and immediately almost get hit, but that's okay. We'll be fine. There's worse. The other thing is, with any amount of repulsion armor plating, I think Kajaro's becomes much less effective, so... Also, it should be noted that I've never actually stacked Kajaro's band. We did the Runald's band, and that worked out well. The hits were very big at the end. They did very chunky, big slices of health taken out of enemies when they procced, which was very satisfying. I expect this to be less exciting. I don't, ow. Gotta be careful. I don't expect this to go very well, to be honest. Like, as far as, I expect it to be functional. I don't know if it'll be as good as stacking Runald's. Because I think in general in this game, the big hits are the better things, even though I don't know if Runald's actually I don't think Runald's procs anything. It's like a payload rather than something like Ukulele that actually has a proc coefficient. Or like ATG, right? All the things that can proc other items. I don't believe Runald's or Kajaro's can proc items at all. Which is fine. I mean, the trick is going to be if we can stack the tornado enough to have it actually do a very significant amount against bosses. And if it can do that, then that's great. We got another Clover. So Clover in this game, if you don't know, whenever something has a chance to proc and fails, it has one additional chance to proc per Clover that you have. So if we have a 25% chance to get a Ukulele hit whenever we hit something with a bullet, and it doesn't hit the 25% chance, and we have one Clover, then it rolls an additional 25% chance. So because we had 2 Clovers, we have 3 25% chances for Ukulele to proc per hit. That doesn't mean that it will proc 3 times. That just means that it has a much greater chance to actually end up proccing because of the Clovers. It's a very, very good item. And it is very, very big for this build because we are going to want to proc more tornadoes. With the Kajaros, an interesting thing was I didn't stack any crit. We didn't take any crit items. And I did that because I wanted to see how the damage stacked up, and it turns out, without crit, it was doing great. That build is extremely functional. Just do this build, except, you know, this is working, I think. I think it does a lot of damage. Now, enemies are going to be very weak because we are, you know, we have a lot of items compared to the amount of time that we've spent in the main game. So, enemies' level is lower and our level is higher. It's a very... I think that people underestimate how strong the Void makes you. Because the timer does not progress. Oh, dude, Aurelionite is a great testing place. Let's do Aurelionite. The only thing we're missing right now, also, is an equipment. I love an equipment. Oh, yikes. What I might do... You know what? Let's grab some movement speed. And when I say movement speed, I took one energy drink, but I want to... The rest of the movement speed that I'm going to take is going to be goat hooves, because commando strafes when you shoot. And I want to be able to move while strafing faster. We're going to farm a little bit. I do want to go to the gold shrine. We're almost done. So the only problem with this build right now, I think, is enemies that move. So every enemy, pretty much. Kind of an issue when they walk out of the tornado. Imp Overlord should be fine. Oh yeah, look at that. Wow, that's good. Oh, that's the juice. It works. Bosses get shredded because they're big. Wonderful. Grab some goat hooves. The numbers on Kajaro's band, the one that we're using, what it gains per level, I don't remember. I should have looked right before, you know, I started this video, and that would have solved the issue. I should have done it on camera and shown you what I was going to do, but I didn't, so whatever. Rip. The numbers, I recall, being bigger than Runald's band. Runald's band has, I think it's like 225% damage, plus 125% damage per stack. And I think the fire one, Kajaro's, is higher than that. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. So here's the thing that I've learned about the Umbras from Vengeance. This is an Umbra. They spawn, they're copies of your character. They are from the Vengeance artifact. They get all of your items, as well as any monster items. No! I want to go here. Take me. No. Please. Yes. Okay. The thing with the Umbras is that they are really, really stupid. And that is the best, that's really good news for us. They are bad at aiming. If they were better at aiming, it would be horrible and impossible. Umbras are already incredibly horrible. They have really good, very large amounts of terror associated with them. There's so many things that they cause. You really kind of, if you have the Vengeance artifact on, you definitely have to plan around what items you really literally cannot take because of the Vengeance artifact. One of those items is Tesla Coil. If your Vengeant clone has Tesla Coil and it gets anywhere near you, or you know, you get anywhere near it, is the more likely scenario, because they're, once again, they're idiots. So if they get anywhere near you, you die. It doesn't matter. You will die. That is a bad item to take. Even it doesn't matter. I don't care how many repulsion armor plating teddy bears you have. You're gonna die from it. It will kill you. Maybe not the first time, but the second time it definitely will. The reason for that is because the clones, I believe, they have the same level as the monsters, right? Or the same scaling. I don't know exactly what's going on there, but I can tell you with certainty that when they have certain items, they just tear you apart. Another one of those items that you really don't want to take, which is really unfortunate, ATG missiles. I think missiles just have such a high base damage multiplier that when it's applied to the monster scaling. Another time that you can see this is when you have the metamorphosis active. Is that the right one? It's the one that gives monsters items when you go each stage. They get a new item. If enemies get ATG missiles or Tesla coil, you will die. It will happen. It doesn't matter. You can be stacking like defenses the whole game. You're gonna die to a missile. It just will happen. It's really kind of unfortunate. But yeah, I don't know. Get some more of this. Need more muns. How much are these? $124. These trees are very pretty. They're not even that like high res, high poly. They look nice. The effect is good. Yeah, so far, I think that this run versus the Kajaros, or the Runolds rather, the Runolds run was much more consistent. I think that this has higher, maybe potential damage, theoretically, on paper, but because of the way that the tornado works, it might actually just end up being worse. And that's okay. Against big, slow bosses, I think it's very good. Like, look at this. This Aurelionite's very easy. That's very good. No problem. That was one of the fastest Aurelionites. If you need a build to unlock whatever challenge it is, defeat Aurelionite within whatever. There it is right there. It should tear apart these boys very quickly as well, yeah. I think this will be pretty fast. But maybe, you know, boss killing, maybe that's like all you need. Maybe you don't need as good actual clear. If you can kill the bosses very fast. You do want to fight. I'm definitely taking another Clover. That's just gonna... Like, how many is too many? Not 2, not 3. Because we have an 8% chance, so that's, you know, what, 3 8% chances? That's not 100%. Someone can do the math on that one. I'd love to see if you feel like doing the math on, like, what, where you start really getting the drop-off in Clover efficiency from an 8% chance. You go ahead. I'm a dumb Quaza. I don't know shit. Last time I did math was like 100 years ago. I'm not even that old. My brain has turned into mush from playing so many video games. All I can do is twitch reflexes and then also very specific analysis of cost versus, you know, reward sort of. Oh yeah, very easy. One of the cool things about this is there's no damage drop-off either, like at range. Like, we don't care. Oh, excuse me. Don't kill me. There we go. We don't care if we're very far away. Unless we're so far away that the bullets don't hit, I guess, would be the only part there. But, you know, there's no drop off with distance. But yeah, anyway, my brain is mush. I couldn't tell you why something is more efficient. I can just tell you that it is. And sometimes I wouldn't even be right. Oh, this poor Magma. Now we fight Aurelionite again. No big deal. Just me and my buddy Aurelionite having a bit of a friendly brawl. Aurelionite does get pissed at you for the smallest offense. He will aim his laser at you at the earliest occasion. As soon as you hit him once with Chaos, it's like all bets are off. I think we have more or less enough Gokus. I should have grabbed, well, I don't know. Focus Convergence is pretty good for finishing the game quickly. I think there was only one passive in that Lunar Shop, though. Maybe. So yeah, I mean, we're 15 minutes in, and the run is set. I think this is a pretty good example of a decent run. I don't see any problems with this. Like, it'll get enemies are gonna get tankier, but we're gonna get more damage, I guess, as we go. It's very high damage, to be honest. 3 clovers is a decent. It's like pretty decent. 3, so that's 4 shots, right? Because you have 1 chance, and then 1 clover, and then 2 clovers, and then 3 clovers. I can do math. I can count to 4, I swear. But, that's not a 100% chance for something like that's not a 100% chance for Tesla Coil. That's 4 25% chances, which is different. Because math. You have to multiply all the chances together. Now, I don't know how you would do that. Because I'm playing a video game, not staring at a calculator, and my brain's not attuned to this sort of thing. But So we're gonna get to 30 attack speed here, and then we're gonna stack teddies forever. No! Oh no! Ow, my bones! My bones, dude! Don't do this. I think, actually, what I should do is grab another cautious slug or two. Because right now, it's gonna take a long time to get back up to full. So we'll grab a cautious slug. Keep going, keep it going, keep it going. We're fine. Yo, the sky on that stage is so cool. Have you ever looked at it? It is called Sky Meadow. What are they doing? Sure to kill a Raelianite. It's crucial. Important part of it. I also think that this might be the only item in Risk of Rain 2 that actually it matters where on an enemy you shoot them. If you shoot a Raelianite in the tip of his sword, and then he moves his arm away, it's not going to do anything, because the fire tornado does spawn wherever you shoot an enemy. And there's no, like, weak spots in this game. But, for the tornado, it makes the most sense if you shoot an enemy in its center of mass. He's so tiny. How do you hit something so tiny? Please, his aim is as bad as mine. Don't get hit by those. Oh my god, please. Stop moving. Don't ever move. I mean, he does also have a teddy bear, but that's not doing most of this. There we go. Okay. Good stuff. Grab one more attack speed. And we grab teddies. And then is there any reason to go in here? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, we could get focus convergence. It's a little late in the run for that. Oh, there was another gold shrine. Could have fought a Raelianite again. Missed opportunity. I mean, like... also with command on, you can just use these to print out tier 3s, which is incredible and potentially very worthwhile. Command is a very broken artifact. Definitely breaks the normal gameplay loop. But that's okay. You know, we have fun here. I think we just finish this out real fast. I mean, Titanic Neural, like, it isn't interesting. But it is the best option almost always. I just started watching Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is an anime, and it is very good. Very excited about that. It's a good anime. Very good art. Seems very high production value. The dialogue isn't exclusively awful, like in, like, you know, okay, anime, not everyone's cup of tea, first of all, but also it's just like another form of media, just like books or movies or shows, you know, American television. And, you know, there's a large variance in terms of quality, just like in other forms of media. And I think Demon Slayer is a very high quality anime. I wouldn't have pegged it up as such with the name Demon Slayer. And that's kind of one of the things, that's why anime can be tricky for me. Because I don't, it's harder to judge, right? I have to get, I exist on almost completely, almost exclusively a recommendation-based system. Someone has to recommend one to me. They have to vet it. Oh my lord. It's getting hot. Oh my god. Another tier 3. Throw another clover on the pile, brother. I don't know if this clover is as effective, but heck, I want to see more freaking flame tornadoes. Like, my gamer sense tells me that probably 4 or 5 clovers for the bands, that's probably where it starts to drop off significantly. That seems like, if my brain is doing the mental math right, that seems to be the point where I would probably be better off picking up any other tier 3. However, here on Quaza plays Risk of Rain 2 badly, without any real math involved, we just only take clovers always, because why would I take anything else? The objective of this run is not build a functional run. The objective of this run is make as many fire tornadoes spawn as possible at all times. To that end, another 3% fire tornadoes is probably a worthwhile expenditure of my tier 3. Now, you might ask, hey, Quaza, why are you taking tier 1s other than attack speed if that's the case? Well, intrepid viewer, if I'm dead, I can't spawn more fire tornadoes, so, you know, I'm making concessions, but where's the teleporter at? Where's the teleporter at, though? I kind of want to take... I still haven't yet gotten Hard Light Afterburner on Commando Slide yet. That's something that I want to do because it would be fun, but why would I do that when I could get one additional tornado per minute? Am I actually blind? I feel like I'm taking crazy risks. It's right here. It was right here all along. What? Wait a second. He's a good boy. He tries his best. Please fly into the air. Be free. There, he's done it. No! He's just ejected after he dropped his effigy. No! Equipment drone! Oh! Leave him alone. Needs more fire tornadoes, clearly. We have to free him. Be free. Please, leave him alone. Makes it much easier when there's a big target, like a beetle. Because then I don't have to aim at the freaking small boys. Please. No. Fly, be free. No. Alright, look. Equipment drone, you have to survive by yourself. Oh no. Just shoot a Rayleighnite. He'll chain to the Umbra. Maybe not. I don't know, the Umbra does have... Oh, dude, I gotta rescue equipment drone. No, equipment drone, no, stop looking at him, he's my boy. No, equipment drone. He died as he lit, doing what he loved. Rolling around on the floor uselessly. Where did... I think probably the Umbra killed itself by jumping off the ledge. They are not very smart. I wouldn't be surprised. That is definitely a way to kill them. I am actually fairly close to death. At basically all times. All it takes is one big hit. I don't regenerate my health very quickly at all. Oh my god. See, and that was a non-elite beetle. If that was an elite beetle right there, I would be dead, probably. We could get a better equipment, but I feel like this one has really put in the work. And so it deserves its place. Hello. Oh! No, I want to go here! I want to go here! You fool! What have you done? Can't believe I've done this. That's a malachite vulture? That's horrifying. Well, shoot. I really wanted to end the run there. That is too bad. Damage has been better, but I've also seen much worse damage on the night stage. Like a lot worse. I would say this is well above average. Easily, without a question, above average. Yeah. I mean, look. I could take other things. But why? For what purpose? What does this really gain in the end? Could get like a Tesla coil, I guess. I'm not really interested in other delivery mechanisms. I think the whole point... I think the point has been accomplished. I'm ready to die on this run in peace. More or less. I really don't... We don't have much else of a purpose. I'm sad that I missed the thing. I really just wasn't thinking about it. I'll keep grabbing attack speed forever. How about that? We'll grab attack speed until I die horribly. No more bears. That would be the way to survive, or maybe get some propulsion armor plating. If I die, I die, you know? Where is this magma worm? There's still a magma worm. Oppo, please let me look straight down. He's gone. All right. Yo. Shiny boy. Oh, very spooky. Yes, very spooky. Very decent damage, too. Hello. Very large amount of health as well. Teleporter. Over there. Boing. Later, nerds. I do like watching enemies just melt. It is very satisfying. Okay, what does 2 Shrines of the Mountain look like this far in? I'm excited. Ah, very spooky. I might die. Please don't kill me. Very good, honestly. Look at that damage, dude. That's actually insane. We were able to chew through all of them with only one of them actually getting the, oh my god, leave me alone. One of them only actually got the area effect attack off. Very nice. Please don't. I'm keeping Aurelianite alive now because, well, to be honest, shit's real spooky. And he is a great, meat shield for me. Needs more attack speed, clearly. That's what we're missing here. I love attack speed builds. Attack speed builds are just my favorite thing in Risk of Rain. I do love it. This game is so good. Yo! What a snipe. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, hit the like button, subscribe. If you have not already, I'll see you next time. Take it easy. Bye-bye. I stream, too. Come watch my stream. If you've not closed the video already. Take it easy. Later.